Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this important episode of Ignition Time. I hope you folks are having a good day. Again, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. And as always, if you learn something new from this video, please consider clicking the like button. Please subscribe and please enable notifications. Now, the former White House Chief of Staff, Mike Mulvaney, someone who spent a lot of time being close to the president, actually criticized the president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, who's essentially taking the lead role in this battle to challenge the election results, if you will. And he said, I quote, this is what Mike Mulvaney said, I quote, "This is not a television program," as he questions Giuliani's role on the Trump campaign legal team. And the former New York mayor, that's Rudy Giuliani, made a pretty dramatic courtroom appearance earlier this week, and he was challenging Pennsylvania's election results. And he's been all over Fox as the president's spokesperson, challenging the validity of the election results. In fact, why don't we take a look at some comments from Rudy Giuliani right now, and then I'll get into some of the important comments made by the White House Chief of Staff, Mike Mulvaney. We'll hear from him as well. Let's watch the segment first, and then I'll be happy to break it down for you. Let's roll the tape.
Welcome back. We are talking about combating election fraud. 2,700 more ballots were discovered in Fayette County, Georgia yesterday, netting an additional 500 votes for President Trump after 2,600 ballots were found in Floyd County on Monday, adding an additional 800 votes for the president. This coming as Michigan's Wayne County Board of Canvassers certified the county's votes overnight. This was a reversal from a decision earlier in the day after being intimidated, doxxed on Twitter. And then yesterday in Pennsylvania, Rudy Giuliani argued in court that hundreds of thousands of ballots should not be considered and the state's election results should not be certified. I spoke with him yesterday about how far the campaign plans to take these efforts.
Somewhere around 700,000 ballots were counted surreptitiously. They were counted in secret. The Republican watchers, which is what they're called in Pennsylvania, were literally kept in corrals. They were then locked out. Some of them were actually roughed up a little bit. This will be now our first established vehicle on our way to the Supreme Court. Or I should say exactly a second. The one in Michigan, even though the certification went ahead, that case is also another vehicle to go to the Supreme Court. So now we have two. Shortly we'll have Wisconsin and soon Georgia. And then we'll have three more right after that. But the ones I just mentioned to you are already drafted and ready to go.
Joining me right now is former acting White House Chief of Staff, former Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Mick Mulvaney. Mick, great to see you this morning. Thanks for being here. What's your reaction to all of this? All of these ballots found in different counties, Mick, the president pushing forward. This may very well go to the Supreme Court. How do you see things?
Good morning, Maria. Thanks as always for having me. I think what you're seeing is just a reaffirmation of why we need to go through this. Every politician knows that these sorts of things happen. They happen on a small scale in nearly every single election. Elections are sloppy things. It's rare that they can make an impact in the outcome because elections aren't typically as close as they are right now. But these stories about ballots not being counted, about folks being excluded from the count, those things happen all the time, which is why it's so important to continue to litigate this. One of the questions I ask my Democrat friends is, don't you want to know? Wouldn't you want to know? Why would you want a potential Biden presidency to be clouded by this? What's wrong with taking the time to do it right? There is plenty of time to do this. We're still nowhere near how long the Bush-Gore debate played out in 2000. So there's time to do this. I think it's the right thing to do. I still am a little concerned about the use of Rudy Giuliani. It strikes me that this is the most important lawsuit in the history of the country. And they're not using the most well-noted election lawyers. There are folks who do this all of the time. This is a specialty. This is not a television program. This is the real thing. And I was struck by a couple of things that Rudy said in court yesterday. So on one hand, I think it needs to go forward. It absolutely does. I wish that it was being prosecuted a little more efficiently.
So you saw it for yourself. Some pretty strong comments from former White House Chief of Staff Mike Mulvaney. Again, this is the former White House Chief of Staff who knows a thing or two about, what needs to happen within the administration. And he said that the presidential race's outcome is, I quote, not a television program and should be handled by more experienced attorneys. I want to know what you, my viewers and subscribers, think in the comment section below. Let me know whether you think Rudolph Giuliani is playing an important role or whether you feel feel he's just something that's hard to take seriously. I remember when I first moved to the United States back in 2002, this was in the aftermath of 9/11, and I remember looking at Rudolph Giuliani myself at that time saying, wow, this is how a leader should be, because he was essentially the guy who epitomized the response to 9/11, Rudy Giuliani. But now when I look at Rudy Giuliani and some of the information that's been coming out lately, honestly, I don't know what to think. I'm thinking, is this the same guy that I saw back in 2002? That's my opinion. You're free to form your opinion. In fact, I want to hear your opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You'll also find a link to the article and the direct video clip that we showed you in the description section below. So let me quote Mike Mulvaney. He said, "I'm still a little concerned about the use of Rudy Giuliani. It strikes me that this is the most important lawsuit in the history of the country, and they're not using the most well-noted election lawyers." That's what Mike Mulvaney said. Now, keep in mind, Mike Mulvaney served as President Trump's chief of staff from January 2019 to March 2020. Now, Mike Mulvaney also said, and I quote, "There are folks who do this all the time. This is a specialty. This is not a television program. This is the real thing." And he said, I'm quoting him, "And I was struck by a couple of things that Rudy said in court yesterday. So on one hand, I think it needs to go forward. It absolutely does." So this is Mike Mulvaney being supportive of the president's legal challenges to the election results, which the president has every right to do. And he said, also on one hand, I think it needs to go forward. It absolutely does. I wish that it was being prosecuted a little more efficiently. That's what Mike Mulvaney said. Now remember, Mike Mulvaney said this because Giuliani, who's the president's personal lawyer, filed a last-minute petition in federal court in the past 24 hours to represent the Trump campaign in its lawsuit seeking to challenge the election results in the state of Pennsylvania. Now keep in mind that Rudy Giuliani made a pretty dramatic courtroom appearance yesterday, but he struggled. He did indeed struggle at times to answer the judge's questions and mount an effective argument to back up the Trump campaign's claims of widespread voter fraud. So keep in mind that President Trump did appoint Rudy Giuliani last Friday to oversee any post-election litigation, and there is a good deal of litigation, although some cases have been tossed out by judges. And Giuliani has drawn a lot of scrutiny within the campaign for his defenses of the president. Some people say that all he engages in are conspiracy theories. Others are supportive of him. Look, Giuliani is an interesting figure. We can all agree to that. And he did have a news conference outside of Philadelphia, landscaping business adjacent to an adult bookstore and a cemetery. So there are some pretty interesting things going on with Rudy Giuliani. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, you'll find a link to all our resources in the description section below. I do want to hear what my viewers and subscribers think of this rather interesting involvement of Rudy Giuliani, and comments from the White House Chief of Staff, Mike Mulvaney, basically saying, he's not the best guy to do this. That was my interpretation. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I appreciate you watching. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time, either word, to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to our SMS alerts list going forward. You can opt out of the SMS alerts list at any point in time. You can also, if you want, get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts, and you can get added to our email list. Now, you can also, if you like, follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. And if you want, you can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Now keep in mind, YouTube does not always send out notifications on time, so please make sure you bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time, and this way you can visit the homepage of our channel and watch our videos at any point in time that you want. So please make sure you do that. As always, you'll find a link to all our resources in the description section below. Please comment, because our community is growing. It's very intelligent, it's very vibrant, it's very respectful. It's a bipartisan community where we all work together on exchanging ideas about the country, about the economy, and about money, because that's what this channel is all about. Again, please comment below and participate in our growing community. If you learned something new from this video, please share this video with friends and family. And also, finally, if you learned something new, please ignite that like button. Please ignite that subscribe button, and please then gently tap that notification button so that you can get notified whenever we release new videos, because after all, the name of our channel is Ignition Time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, enable notifications, because that really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much.